I recently asked my boys, what's something you learned from me while you're growing up? And my oldest son, without batting an eye, said, life's not fair. Let's talk about that phrase and how we can respond to it next on Papa Swag's Words of Wisdom and Encouragement. Welcome to Papa Swag's Words of Wisdom and Encouragement. I'm John Papa Swag Munzie, and we're here talking about life's not fair. I'll never forget where I learned this particular phrase, and it's impacted my life as well as been instilled in my kids' life as well, this concept that life's not fair. I was in college, I was in a general psychology course, and our professor, Dr. Moulton, instilled this phrase in us that life's not fair. And yet, there's a response to life's not fair that I never realized, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you 3 examples, not exhaustive, but 3 examples of where life's not fair. The first example that came to my mind is, someone is always better than you. I don't know if you experienced this, but I experienced this multiple times in my life. And the best example I can think of is, were you ever in a classroom or a setting where you had to turn in a paper or a project, and everybody got their projects back, but there was always this one exceptional project, and the teacher or the instructor would yell out and say, so-and-so just did a phenomenal job on this project, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And it was never your name. Your name was never the one called. That happened to me on multiple occasions. I was just an average guy doing average things, and yet there's more to me than just waiting for that word of approval. So one of the things I want to talk to you, life's not fair. There's always going to be someone's better than you. And your response to that should be, stop comparing yourselves to others. You're going to do the best you can with what God has given you. You have tremendous and unique gifts and talents, which leads me to the second area where life is not fair, our gifts and our talents. Each one of us, each one of you that's watching this, has a unique set of gifts and talents. But it's not fair how they're distributed. Some of you can sing unbelievably well. Some of you can draw, have artistic ability. Some of you can build things that I could never even come close to. Some of you have technology gifts. Some of you have some verbal gifts that you're not utilizing. You have some talents that you can do. You can act, you can do theater. These are some unique gifts and talents that you have that you need to discover and you need to begin to use. Life is not fair in how they're given or distributed out. One of the reasons I started this YouTube channel is because I believe I have the gift of encouragement, and this has given me an outlet to encourage people. One of the goals of this channel is we're wanting to encourage people to turn their dreams into reality. And that's why I'm sharing with you my Papa Swag's Words of Wisdom and Encouragement, hoping that you can apply some of this to your own life. And the third area where life is not fair is in the economic backgrounds we grew up in. We have a variety of backgrounds. You may have come from a very poor background where you went hungry as you grew up. You may have came from a very affluent and wealthy background where everything was, you never worried about money, you never worried about those kind of issues. Me personally, I came from a very middle-class neighborhood. I grew up on a street called Greyhaven Court in Dundalk, Maryland. So in this particular neighborhood, the houses were attached. There were about 5 houses attached, and then there would be a break, and then the next 5 houses. So you would count by 5, and there'd be 2 end houses and 3 houses in the middle. And you can see as the pictures are scrolling across the screen where I grew up at. One of the beautiful things about this particular neighborhood was the fact that everybody knew each other. It was almost like living in a small town. All the kids would play. We would play games like hide and go seek or Red Rover. We had a little court in the middle of the road, which was just a piece of dirt. We would play football in it and baseball. And when it snowed, we could play football in the snow. It was just a fun place to grow up. And like I said, you're seeing pictures streaming across your screen right now where I grew up at. It was middle class. We didn't know a lot of the people in the neighborhood. A lot of the parents worked at Bethlehem Steel. My parents were teachers. And so we came from a very different background than maybe you did. Life's not fair in that sense. Some people, like I said, some people came from poor backgrounds. Some people came from very middle-class backgrounds, like I did, or very affluent backgrounds. Doesn't matter where you came from, life's not fair. But how do you respond to that? Do you use whatever your background as an excuse? Or do you look at it as an opportunity? So let's just recap where life's not fair. One, someone will always be better than you. I just want to encourage you, stop comparing yourselves to others. There will always be someone better than you, but there will never be anyone like you. Number two, we all have different gifts and talents. Evaluate what your gifts and talents are. Look for opportunities to use your gifts and talents. There's always going to be somebody that can sing better than you or maybe draw better than you. But it doesn't matter. You have been given certain gifts given to you by God that you need to utilize, because only you have a certain way of looking at it that's unique. Third, we come from different, various backgrounds. Some of you came from poor backgrounds, some of them affluent backgrounds, and a lot of us came from middle-class backgrounds. Stop using economic situations as an excuse. There are multiple ways to find your way in this world. And what I finally want to do, and what I finally would like to say in the comments below, I'd like to know, what are you doing with your gifts and your talents? Where are you utilizing them? What are some opportunities or places you can utilize those gifts and talents? Yes, life is not fair. However, hopefully after you watch this video today here on Papa Swag TV, that you're starting to learn that there are opportunities out there for you to overcome this phrase, life is not fair. Thank you for watching Papa Swag TV. We thank you for our new subscribers that subscribed last week and are watching. Continue to watch Papa Swag TV, and remember, be encouraged. You were created to do great things, and I'm here cheering you on. Have a great week.